Happy Friday, everybody. Today is Friday, April 23rd, and only part of you are watching the video with me today. The rest of you are taking your first day of TCAP tests, and I know that you're going to do amazing. So if it is not Friday, April 23rd, then it is Wednesday, April 28th. Think so. Wait for that 30th. Hold on, let me check my calendar. I gotta make sure. Yeah, the 28th. So it's either Friday the 23rd or Wednesday the 28th, depending on when you go to your home school to take your TCAP test. So we are actually starting a new arc in Module 4 today. We're going to have a new book called The Vegetables We Eat by Gail Gibbons. We're just talking about foods. So our big question, remember our essential question for Module 4 is still the same. How does food nourish us? So that will stay the same. But because we have a new book, we're in a new arc, we're going to have a new focusing question. Our new medium-sized question is, where does nourishing food come from? You can go to the store and buy it, but where does it come from before the store? And then our small question for today is, what do I notice and wonder about the vegetables we eat? The book, The Vegetables We Eat. And then we have two craft questions today, two writing questions. It is, why is writing about steps in a process important? And why do writers use apostrophes in possessives? So our learning targets for today, our learning goals, we're going to ask and answer questions about the text, The Vegetables We Eat, and we're going to try to demonstrate our understanding of an informative paragraph with steps in a process. So let's go ahead and get started on today's video. I'm going to share my screen with you.
Welcome back, incredible thinkers. I'm Sue Sabella, your Great Minds teacher. Let's see what we need for today. Today you'll need your journal and a pencil and something to color code with, like colored pencils or markers or crayons. Please pause here to gather what you need and just hit play when you're ready to continue. Let's choral read the focusing question together. Where does nourishing food come from? To help us think about where nourishing food comes from, we'll be exploring a text about vegetables. I'd like you to take a look at the vegetables on the screen. Point to each vegetable and say the name of the vegetable out loud. Pause here to do that now. Now, let's do it together. As I say the name of the vegetable, gently touch or point to that vegetable on the screen. Ready? Here we go. Pumpkin, potato, onion, corn, tomato, lettuce, cucumber, carrot, eggplant. Now, let's learn more about the vegetables that we eat. What do I notice and wonder about this text? Please pause here to set up a notice and wonder questions T-chart in your journal. Just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so we are going to go in your knowledge and response journal. We are going to be on page 185 today. 185. Put today's date on the top. If it's 4/23 or 4/28, either one, whichever one is your date. And we need to put the title of the book on top, The Vegetables We Eat. And you need to make your notice and wonder chart, please. There we go, page 185. Put today's date on the top. The vegetables we eat, notice and wonder. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Get this written on page 185 and then hit play.
Please pause here to look closely at the front cover and back cover of The Vegetables We Eat by Gail Gibbons. Take time to jot down what you're noticing and also what your wonder questions are. Take as much time as you need and just hit play when you're ready to continue. Why is writing about the steps in a process important?
Oops, stop. I need to stop right there for just a second. Okay, so I know Miss Sabella said we're just going to look at the front cover and the back cover, but I really don't think the front cover and the back cover give you much to look at and don't give you much to ask wonder questions and notices about. So we are going to listen to the story so you can do your notices and your wonders while you're listening to the story. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And here we go.
Hi there. Are you ready to read aloud? Today we are going to read The Vegetables We Eat by Gail Gibbons. If you take a look at this cover, you can see all of these vegetables on the cover, and look at the way she did these letters with the different vegetables. How fun is that? If next time you're looking for a design idea, take the theme and you too could make your letters out of that theme. How fun would that be? Let's take a look at the vegetables we eat. Perennials are plants that grow for many growing seasons without having to be replanted. Annuals are plants that grow for only one growing season. They must be replanted to grow again. Look at all the vegetables. Vegetables are the parts of plants that are grown to be eaten. Most are annuals, some are perennials. If you ever want to pause the video to check out everything that's going on in this picture, go ahead and push pause anytime you want. It is good for us to eat vegetables. They are nutritious and help keep our bodies strong and healthy. They are tasty too. We eat vegetables in different ways. Vegetables grow to be different shapes, sizes, and colors. Botanists Group the different kinds of vegetables according to the part of the vegetable that is eaten. There are 8 groups of vegetables. Look at that. Leaf, bulb, flower bud, root, tuber, stem, fruit, seed. This says a botanist is a scientist who studies plants. Leaf vegetables. Iceberg lettuce. See that is growing in there? And here's a picture of the top of iceberg lettuce. Romaine lettuce. Some other lettuces, and then they talk about the romaine lettuce, Bibb lettuce, red leaf lettuce. We eat the leaves of these vegetables. Some other leaf vegetables, cabbage, watercress, spinach, parsley, Brussels sprouts. Bulb vegetables. Here's a white Spanish onion. And then they talk about different kinds of onions. Here's the white Spanish onion. Some other onions. Yellow globe onion, red globe onion, sweet Vidalia onion. And here's some other bulb vegetables. Leeks and scallions. This says we eat the bulbs that grow beneath the ground. And then here's flower bud vegetables. White snowball cauliflower. And there it is again. Some other cauliflowers. Cheddar cauliflower, purple head cauliflower, and some other flower bud vegetables. Artichoke and broccoli. How many of these vegetables have you had? Can you guess why this might have gotten the name cheddar cauliflower right there? What about purple head cauliflower? I think you know why, right? Looking at the color? Yes. Those are the things that you can be thinking about while you're reading. This says down here, the flower buds of these vegetables are eaten. All right, let's go on to the root vegetables. So this says early wonder beet. And there they are again. And then some other beets. Detroit dark red beets. Some people eat beet greens, this green part, the leafy part. Some people eat that. And these are called red ace beets. This says the roots of these vegetables are eaten. They grow beneath the ground. See how it looks there beneath the ground? Then over here, some other root vegetables. Parsnips, turnip, rutabaga, carrots, and radishes. Tuber vegetables. These are Kennebec potatoes. There they are. Some other potatoes. Yellow Yukon Gold potatoes, red Norland potatoes, russet Burbank potatoes, purple Peruvian potatoes. Have you ever seen a purple potato before? Those look interesting to try. This says the edible part of these vegetables, the tuber, grows beneath the ground. See how far down into the ground it grows? And then over here it says stem vegetables. There's the golden self-blanching celery. Celery is an annual. Some other celeries. Ford hook celery, giant Pascal celery. Some other stem vegetables. Asparagus is a perennial. Rhubarb is a perennial. Remember back in the beginning of the story what the difference between a perennial and an annual is? If you don't remember, go back and check. No problem. This says down here, the stems of these vegetables are eaten. Some stem vegetables are perennials. Fruit vegetables. Here's the tomatoes. Best boy tomatoes is what that says up there. Here's some other tomatoes. There's another sample of the best boy tomatoes. Here's a beef eater tomato. My guess is that's probably a pretty big tomato. Sugar plum tomatoes. Ultra sweet tomatoes. Yellow tomato, and cherry tomatoes. Here are some fruit vegetables that we eat. Some other fruit vegetables. Eggplant, cucumbers, yellow squash, butternut squash, hot peppers, zucchini, sweet peppers, and pumpkin. How many of those vegetables have you eaten? Here's some seed vegetables. This says we eat the seeds of these plants. Some seed vegetables grow in pods. Sometimes the pods are eaten too. And you can see that in all of these pictures. There's green beans, some other beans, yellow wax beans, pole beans, lima beans, kidney beans, navy beans. Some other seed vegetables. Here's the pod, and then inside are the green peas. See that? Snow peas, corn, and this is called the husk. Corn is a seed vegetable that does not have a pod. It has a husk. This says the soybean. The soybean oil is used to make most household vegetable oils. Soy milk, margarine, tofu, soy sauce, soap, paints, paper, cloth, plastics. Did you know soy was in all of those things? It says soybeans are a special seed vegetable. They can be used in many ways. Some soybeans are used to make food products. Soybean oil is used to make many non-food items. Now over here, after we've learned about all of those different kinds of vegetables, now it says how to grow your own vegetable garden. It says fertilizers are substances added to the soil as food for plants. A shovel may be used to turn over soil. A rake may be used to smooth the soil so it is ready for planting. When it gets warm enough, many people enjoy planting, growing, and later harvesting their own vegetables. Most often, they buy packets of seeds that have directions. It says sometimes string or sticks are used to help plant straight rows or to support climbing plants. When seeds are planted in a circle and covered with a mound of soil, the mound is called a hill. Here's the starter plants. Here's the seeds. It says a trowel is used to dig small holes for seeds and seedlings. Lots of stuff going on here, isn't there? Some people plant starter plants, also called seedlings. Most of the time, vegetable seeds or starter plants are planted in straight rows or in circles. The garden must be weeded and watered regularly. The plants begin to grow. And then they identify the sprinkler, the scarecrow, the hose, the watering can. This says a hoe may be used for weeding. What do you suppose that scarecrow is for? That would be fun to research and check out how they've been used. In cities, people may grow vegetables in containers. So do you see all these containers here? You can grow sweet peppers, green beans, tomatoes, and lettuce. And then they show the different stages of growing here. This says the vegetable plants will become bigger until they are ready for harvesting. Great big vegetable farms. Fertilizers are added to the soil. A plow turns over the soil. A harrow smooths the soil so it is ready for planting. A planter places the seeds in a straight line. Farmers fertilize the soil. Then the fields are plowed, harrowed, and planted. Some vegetables are picked by hand. Other vegetables are harvested by machines. Big sprinkling systems are used to water the vegetable plants. At the end of the growing season, the vegetables are harvested. Refrigerator trucks haul the vegetables to processing plants. There they will be washed and sorted. Some are frozen, some are canned, and the rest will be sold fresh. The vegetables are shipped to stores near and far away for people to buy. At grocery stores, fresh vegetables are on display. Canned vegetables line shelves. Frozen vegetables are found in freezers. Some people buy fresh vegetables at farm stands. It is fun to pick out what to buy. Look at all the delicious vegetables. And then they talk about all kinds of different vegetables. Benjamin Franklin introduced soybean seeds from France to the United States around 1800. The province of Ontario grows the most vegetables in Canada. More than half of the world's soybeans are grown in the United States. The longest bean is called the yard-long bean. It can grow to be about 3 feet or 91.4 centimeters long. Potato plants originally came from South America. Vegetables can be grown using water filled with nutrients. No soil is used. Botanists call this type of gardening hydroponics. There are about 300 different types of potatoes. About 1/3 of all the vegetables grown in the United States come from California. Don't forget, It is important to eat vegetables. They are good for you. All right. So much information is going on in this. I encourage you to go back and take a slower look through everything going on. And if anything catches your attention, go ahead and research it and enjoy continuing to learn. Happy reading.
Okay, so now that you have heard the story, go ahead and write down. I would like for you to have 2 notices and 2 wonders. 2 notices and 2 wonders, and then hit play when you are ready to continue. Okay, so on my notice and wonder chart, I said I noticed there are different colors of cauliflower. I did not know that. I thought it was all white. And I noticed that there are a lot of facts in this text. This text is full of information. And my wonder questions, why are most of our vegetables grown in California? Why aren't they grown in the rest of the country? And my next question is, how can vegetables keep our bodies strong? So that is my notice and wonder. I want you to make sure that you have 2 notices and 2 wonders, please. All right, let's get back to our video.
Why is writing about the steps in a process important? While you work on focusing question task 3, you'll have the chance to learn how to write a new type of informative paragraph. Let's take a closer look at how it's similar to the informative paragraph that you're used to writing and how it's slightly different. Please pause here to read over the structure for the informative paragraph. Just hit play when you're ready to continue.
All right, so we have an introduction, topic statement, evidence, conclusion. That seems very familiar to what we were doing earlier in the school year.
The informative paragraph with steps in a process is very similar to the informative paragraph structure in 3 ways. Let's take a look at all 3 ways that both paragraph structures are similar. Both types of informative paragraphs have an introduction. They also have a topic statement. And at the end, they both have a conclusion. The big difference in this new type of informative paragraph is we'll be including steps in a process. We'll include steps in order that they happen, and we'll continue until all steps are explained. When do you think you might need to write an informative paragraph that has steps in a process? Pause here to think about that question or to chat about it with a learning partner. Just hit play when you're ready to continue. Whenever we're including steps in our informative paragraph, it's important to use temporal words to signal to the reader when to take the next step. We might use words like first, then, or next. Or we could use phrases like at first, next week, in the end. That's right, there's a check mark in the corner, and you know what that means. Your classroom teacher will take this opportunity to check in with you. You'll be identifying the parts of the paragraph below. As I read the paragraph out loud, I'd like you to think about what you're noticing about the structure of this paragraph. Ready? Here we go. Vegetables grow on farms. There are steps that happen before people can buy them in stores. First, they are put on trucks that keep them cold. Second, they are washed and sorted. Next, they are put in packages. Then, they are put on boats or trucks. Lastly, they go to stores or farm stands. It is important that the steps happen in order. In order to identify the parts of the paragraph below, you'll be using your journal, your pencil, and something that you can use to color code this paragraph, like colored pencils, markers, or crayons. So please pause here to grab what you need and just hit play when you're ready to continue.
We will not be doing that. So you do not need your journal or colored pencils because I'm not going to make you write all of this into your journal, okay? Okay, so we're going to go over this together on the screen. So what do you think the topic statement is, the topic sentence statement? Okay, so if you said vegetables grow on farms, you are correct. That is the introduction. That's what introduces the story to the reader. So what do you think the topic statement is going to be? Okay, there are steps that happen before people can buy them in stores. Good. What do you think the first piece of evidence is going to say, or the first step in the process? Okay, the first temporal word right there gives us a big clue, right? Oops, that was a little messy. Right, what would the second clue be? The second piece of evidence or the second step in the process? Well, it starts with the word second, another big clue right there. And then third step in the process. And then our fourth step in the process. And then our last step in the process. Good. And then what will be our conclusion statement? Yeah, it would be this last sentence. Here we go. All right, so let's go back to the video and see if we got it right.
Please point to the sentence that is the introduction. You probably pointed to the very first sentence where it says vegetables grow on farms. This is the introduction to this paragraph. It sets the stage. We can now picture vegetables growing on farms. Now I'd like you to copy this paragraph into your journal. And as you do, color code the sentences. Begin with the introduction and underline it with red for introduction. Then, as you write the topic statement, go back and color code it or underline it with green. And then color code the steps in the process using yellow or blue. And finally, color code or underline the conclusion in your paragraph. Pause here to do this work and take as much time as you need. Just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Yes, we just did that They're on the screen, so you are not going to do this in your journal, okay?
Please pause here to check your work and just hit play when you're ready to take a closer look at the steps in the process. Please point to the first step in the process. You probably pointed right here because as a reader, you noticed the word first, and that signaled to you that this was the first step in the process. Since it's the first step in the process, I'm going to put a number 1 right here. I'd like you to continue to number the steps in the process in the paragraph that's in your journal. How many steps are in the process? Pause here to number the steps in the process and just hit play when you're ready to continue. There are 5 steps that farmers have to take before people can buy vegetables in the store. I'm going to read the paragraph out loud one more time, and this time I want you to listen for those temporal words, the words that signal to you that a new step is beginning in the process. Every time that you hear a temporal word, you could clap or stand up. Ready? Here we go. Vegetables grow on farms. There are steps that happen before people can buy them in stores. First, they are put on trucks that keep them cold. Second, they are washed and sorted. Next, they are put in packages. Then, they are put on boats or trucks. Lastly, they go to stores or farm stands. It is important that the steps happen in order. The author of this paragraph used the following temporal words: first, second, next, then, and lastly. The author used these temporal words to signal to us that these are the steps that need to happen before people can buy vegetables in stores. And it's important that these steps happen in order. These examples of temporal words can be used in writing to show sequential order. Please pause here to read over the words on the temporal words chart. Just hit play when you're ready to wrap up today's lesson.
All right, so big steps we can use first to start with or in the beginning. For the middle steps, we could say in addition, next, second, and then. In the ending steps, we could say finally, in the end, lastly, at the end, and at last.
You can also create a chart in your journal of temporal words. And as you hear people using temporal words, words that show a sequence or steps in a process, you can continue to add those words to your chart so you can use them as a writer as well. Keep tuning into the language that's being used around you, and I will see you again soon, my friends.
So the only work that you need to do for me today in wisdom is make sure that you have at least 2 notices and 2 wonders on the story, The Vegetables We Eat. Take a picture and upload it for me into the Google Slide. And that's all that we've got for today. So I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I will see you later.